Hi there, my name's Zach and I'm a Ruby developer. In this video, I'm going to discuss some new changes that I made to the Beer Me app, which I walked through in my last video. If you don't remember that, you can find the link in my YouTube. But I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Um, since then, I've pretty much added one basic feature, and that is everything still works pretty much the same way, but I have added in an AJAX show, an AJAX index page for check-ins, and it allows a user to check in by themselves. You'll see here in just a second. So let me go ahead and got my server running here, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up my text editor just in case. All right. So like I showed last time, now we have this, you can log in as a user. I'm just going to go ahead and sign in with my Facebook because that's what I've been doing most of my testing as. It just makes it real simple. If I could work the keyboard today. All right, perfect. And something I've noticed before is that this callback seems to take a while. I'm going to have to look into that eventually, but as you can see, it does eventually work. And this takes me to my new root page, which is the check-ins index controller. And before, I'm going to go to this beer link right here just to kind of show what things looked like before. Before, there was just like a bunch of links here for check-ins. So we're going to have basic check-in information. We give like a rating, what was the beer, what was the style, and whatever. And then to add a new check-in, you'd have to like click off of that web page, enter in some info in this form here. It's basically the same sort of setup for adding a beer. But now I have changed that. So now, and this is actually a bug that I've been noticing. Whenever I click on that, it does that. So I got to debug that as well. But if I refresh here, all right. So now I have the same sort of information here. We have a rating, we have what beer it was, and who checked it in, and then also how long ago it was. And this how long ago was actually a really cool jQuery plugin that I found. It's called jQuery Time Ago. And they have a great tutorial here. It's real super simple to plug in. And for Rails, so all I had to do here was for Rails. Actually, I don't even know where I added that in. Did I add it into my? Hopefully, okay. I did not add it in there. Did I do it in my check-ins.js? Yes, I added it in here. No, I did not. Did I add it into the actual view? Is the question. Nope. No, I didn't. I'm silly. I just didn't even see this file right here. Okay, perfect. So as it says right here, you just you can download from this button right here. Then for a Rails application to get it into the asset pipeline, you need to go ahead and just add the jQuery.timeago.js, and then this will compile. And then whenever you have your listener, right here is what this shows. So you have your document.ready.listener, and then I think I have that right here. So whenever my document is ready, after it attaches the other listeners, then it also attaches this time ago, which makes it real simple to create this cool little visualization, for how long ago something occurred. But anyways, so I was talking about how this was a new AJAX app and how I changed it. So before, I would have had to click on this Add Check-in button. It would have taken me to a new window, a new web page, and then I would have had to fill out a form, and then I would have had to submit that form and then get redirected back to this index page. Now, however, if I click Add Check-in, this form slowly fades in. It's not as great as the other form, in the sense that I used to be able to add a beer from this form, but now I can't. Now I can only just select from this drop-down menu, and I'll go ahead and pick a beer and give it a rating. And go ahead and add a comment just for fun. And then I can add a check-in. So what that did is that sent an AJAX request, that's an AJAX post request to my Rails API. And upon completion of that, it also ran a GET request to get these last 10 check-ins. So that's pretty cool. That is one way that happens, and I can kind of show you right here. So there is a listener on the add check-in. Let's see here. Add check-in UI listener. So if I click on that, it adds a form. Then once it adds that form, then it adds all these other listeners. So let's go look at the form. This just shows the form here, and hides and shows the form, and the other button correctly. And then it does this post check-in whenever you click on the check-in button down here, add check-in. You can also click cancel here, and that should reset the little menu here. But if you click the add check-in button, it'll trigger this post check-in, and it'll take a route. So where was my add check-in? Okay, so add form. Oh yeah. Okay, so the form submit. Okay, all right. I'm just trying to remember through everything here. All right, so we get a route. Where did we pass that route in? All right, so at this add check-in, so then from the form, all right, so then we get the route. All right, so we convert it to JSON. Or actually, so right here we get this route, and it's a .json route, and that's what we're going to submit to, because right here we use the active model serial. No, we don't. This is just regular JavaScript. Okay. Here we serialize the form data into JSON and then store it as this values object, and then we call the post check-in with that route and then those values. So that post check-in, makes a jQuery.post request, and I save it as this way. That way, it's just kind of easy to use later. It's a small function, so I kind of like this readability. And because I know that this isn't going to be down or anything like that, I'm just using a simple done. And whenever it's done, it'll get a callback of data here, and then it'll clean the form so that in the future nobody else will try to, it won't keep those data. It won't keep that data there. And then it calls that get check-in, like I said, or get check-ins. So actually the plural, get check-in. So it's getting multiple check-ins. And that's what I was saying, where it would, do an AJAX request, and I'll go ahead and open up the console here so we can go ahead and see those URLs. So add check-in. Nothing happened here. But now that I'm going to go ahead and do a Homefront IPA, give it a 6 and add check-in. All right, you can see down right here we have a post request and then a get request. So the post request, of course, sends that form data up to this nested route here, users for check-ins, and then this get route calls the check-ins index controller, or check-ins controller index action, and since it has this .json on the end, it actually returns .json. So I can go ahead and look at that real quick. So where was that? And then the response here. Boom. You can see nicely formed JSON. It's even some nested JSON in there with, it's multiple things going on. And then the other way that I made this an AJAX website is that I also allowed the check-in show to just automatically load on this page. So for example, if I wanted to look at this Homefront IPA, before you click on it and you would get redirected to the check-in show page for that resource. Now, if I click on any of these, they just load instantly. And I mean, this is once again just following an AJAX request. We're doing a jQuery.get. We're we're passing in the path here, which this is a pretty cool thing here. One thing I made here is for each of these check-ins, actually, I have prototyped on them two things. Actually three things. One of them was this date time that I was talking about earlier. So I could just, so I encapsulated that jQuery time ago function as a date time function for a check-in object, so that it'd just be easy to reference. And then also, these are all built very simply. Let me see if I can, let me look for the UI stuff. Requests, I feel like the UI was before that. So yeah, form submit clean, show check-in. Okay, I get it. So get check-ins, then we process the check-ins here. So then down here at the process check-ins, we do some sandwich code, set a check-ins value, and then, so this is a callback, so it's a response, so it's going to be JSON. And then we're going to iterate through that JSON, and then for each of them, we are going to push that check-in into this check-ins array. Well, yeah, interesting. Okay. Well, I probably didn't need to do this. I could have probably just kept it as that object and done some of this other work later. But anyways, we, push, of course, so we add all these new check-in objects into this check-ins array. And then so we do this new items, and we call this build check-ins, and we use the check-ins array. So here we have passing an array here, and we are returning. All right, so we're going to return all these values in place. So all the individual elements of a check-ins array are check-in, and from here we are going to return the check-in, and then this is the prototyped method that I created earlier. So this is a toBootstrap index link, because here's the toBootstrap index link, because seeing this within inside of that nested function would have been really ugly, and it was really cool to abstract that formatting or that view out to this function. And then so now it already knows everything that it needs to know. I also made a prototype method for a toBootstrap show page, and that toBootstrap show page is all the information that you see in here. So boom, changes. Actually, I don't think I had my inspect out. That way you can see all the URL requests. Let me go ahead and edit my screen a little bit here. That way. And click. All right, all those GET requests. Perfect. So then you can see here, add check-in. Doesn't do anything new. Doesn't make a GET request. And then we're going to call Destiny and add check-in. Boom, post request. Then we had some UI action. The form cleared. The form hit itself. The add check-in came back. And then we called get check-ins. And it reloaded all that stuff onto the page. Okay, I think that's pretty much all I have for now. So thanks for watching, and have a great day.